All right, what's going on, guys? So it's about 26 degrees outside and we're gonna be doing an outdoor TXV, unfortunately. So figured I would make a video. I've had a few TXVs on the indoor TXV videos. This is an outdoor, it's completely different. This is gonna be the TXV that's used during heat on a heat pump. So you have an indoor TXV for when it's cooling, and then an outdoor TXV for when it's heating. And that's gonna be, this TXV is gonna be for heat. So these are a little bit more challenging than the indoors. It's not fittings that you can tighten with a nuts. It's gonna be all sweat in fittings, and I'll show you what we're doing. All right, so this is our TXV. As you can see, you got your capillary tubes, and it is a complete sweat in to this TXV, and then on the other side of it, it goes straight to your liquid line port. So this is a Trane. All of them's a little different, but not very different. All right, so you're going to recover all of your refrigerant when it's this cold outside. That's a process of its own. This takes a long time, but either way, you're going to have to remove both of these. This has two lines you're going to have to remove. So you got a few straps you're going to have to take off. So one of these lines is it ties in to this bottom suction line going into the reversing valve. You're going to have to take this plastic off and unsweat it out of this place, and then you're going to sweat back in the new one. And the other line that's going, it goes all the way around, and it's to the actual bulb, same type of bulb that's in an indoor TXV, except this one's out. So that's going to have to come off as well. So while you're recovering, you can start taking off. You can take this clamp off, remove all these zip ties, and get everything ready to unsweat once you get the refrigerant completely recovered. So and the best way to do this, really the only way to do this, is to unsweat these fittings. You can't really cut them with the tubing cutters. You're going to have to unsweat everything. So we'll get to that part next. I'm going to recover this refrigerant, and we'll show you the next steps moving forward. All right, so we're finished recovering. While it was recovering, I took the zip tie off. I went ahead and got the bulb taken off of the clamp. Just remember where it went. You're gonna put it back in the exact same spot. So we'll go ahead and we'll move this out of our way somewhere where it won't be in the way, and we're gonna get ready to start unsweating these fittings. So I've done it both ways. It doesn't really matter which one you start with, but I'm gonna go ahead and unsweat this line. With some outdoor TXVs, you do have to unsweat it from where it ties in. But with this one, it's gonna be right here is where it's gonna unsweat, because you see it has a larger coupling that slides on. And if we look at our new one, we're gonna have that. You can see where it's gonna tie in right there. With the ones that tie all the way back into the line itself is going to have the 90 attached right here. So you'll be able to tell which one you're supposed to do. But always look at your valve first and make sure which way you have to unsweat this line down here. All right, so I'm gonna unsweat this one, and then once you get this unsweated and it cools off, you're gonna wanna pull this black plastic all the way off of it and slide it onto your new one. I have this one taken off already for the line that goes to the bulb. And then once we get ready to unsweat the TXV itself, we're gonna easily pull it away a little bit from the coil, and I'm gonna move this sensor line out of the way. And you can also unplug your reversing valve, and we're gonna get these wires out of the way too, so we don't risk the chance of melting those. Okay. And you will have to pull this was all the way up. You have to pull this back as much as you can. And also, you want to remove your Schrader valves out of your service ports so it can exhausts that excess refrigerant that's still in these lines as you're soldering, so you can't build no pressure. And it's also recommended you want to run a little nitrogen through as you're soldering your new one on, and you want to use some heat trap on the new valve. You don't have to worry about the old one. I don't have any heat trap, but I'm going to wet a thick cloth and wrap around my new one before I start to weld it, because you definitely don't want these valves to get too hot, or you're going to end up with the same type of situation that you're dealing with the old one. All right, so I'm going to try to set my camera up somewhere, and we'll start unsweating this stuff. You're also going to need channel locks to be able to hold this this line and be able to pull it off once you get it unsweated enough for it to loosen that solder joint. You don't need much heat for these small lines. You need little heat. If you go in with too much heat, it's gonna just blow straight through that copper and you're gonna have a mess. You also want to take the shredder valve out of this one right here. I forgot to do that, so let's go ahead and take that out. And this would be your true suction port. Try not to breathe or anything when you do this, because it's going to be burning off a good bit of refrigerant. It's definitely some nasty stuff when you go to burning it. That's all it is to that one. And it's right here is your sweat joint. Need a little more heat than the other line, but still you don't want to make it too much. Go. Now that'll make the other side easier to pull off. All right, we'll let this stuff cool, and then we're gonna sand. We're gonna sand these fittings, or sand these places where we just unsweated it. Make sure it's nice and clean, and we're gonna get this new TXV put in. The place is cleaned up on here. Got the new TXV slid on, so we'll go ahead and get this soldered first, and then I'll place the rag on and try to get this thing soldered up as quick as we can without getting too much heat into that valve. All right, so that's gonna be our last step before we get everything buttoned up and get the insulation around this line as well and get it back attached at the bottom. So we'll go ahead and start the soldering process now. You just want to wrap it pretty tight. Make sure if you're going to use a cloth, that it's pretty soaked. It's not as hard to do to keep it cooler when it's this cold outside, but you want to make sure you're not getting any of this into your solder joints at all. Moisture is bad when it comes to a TXV. All right. That'll work. And then you're just going to go ahead and solder both sides of your TXV now. All right, before we go any further, once you got your solder joints all done, you're going to want to put your Schrader valves back in, all 3 of them. You could have taken out this one too if you wanted to. It's all about just keeping the pressure from building in the system. But got a little crazy with the torch right here. I think it's just that coating on the outside just got a little hit just a little bit. Didn't do any damage to the actual wire itself, so that should be okay. But we're going to go ahead and pressure test it now. Put the Schrader valves back in it, do a pressure test, use your inspection mirror, look around, make sure all of the joints look good. And once we verified that the joints are good, we're going to start pulling a really good vacuum on this thing. Anytime I do a TXV, I always want to make sure that the vacuum is is really good on it. So 500 microns is the goal. So that's what I'm going to do now. I'm going to do a pressure test on it, and then we'll start the vacuum process. And that's pretty much going to be the end of the video, as long as I don't have any leaks or anything like that. So we're going to do that next. All right, so we've started our vacuum, leak tested it, everything looked good. So I put this back on here. This is like a plastic, and it's to keep the copper from rubbing against each other. So it's not a huge deal to have it exposed like that. It's just to keep it from rubbing together and causing a hole in the copper. So I got it all of that back together. You want to make sure you have this piece of plastic that's for the bulb that goes all the way down, at least right at the bulb, so you don't have the top stem of that bulb rubbing right here. So make sure this is down far enough. Besides that, everything looks really good. I'm going to pull a really good vacuum on this. I got my wires put back for my reversing valve. You'll want to make sure your valve's pushed back like where it was to begin with, and make sure these wires are pushed in enough to where when your door closes, you're not going to have nothing hitting, and you're not going to have any issues there. All right, so after the vacuum's done, you're going to want to add, you look at your plate, see how much refrigerant this holds. This thing's a beast. It holds a lot. So 10 pounds, 13 ounces, almost 11 pounds of refrigerant. And then we're going to calculate the length of the line set to add the rest of the refrigerant to it. and we'll get this thing kicked on. But I got a mess to clean up while I'm waiting on this vacuum. So that's pretty much the gist of replacing an outdoor TXV. It is a lot more trouble. Trane makes it a little easier with it being on the outside of the unit like this. A lot of other brands, that TXV is going to be down on the inside of the unit, which makes it extremely difficult. So if any of y'all are doing that, good luck to you. But this is it's all about the same when it comes to how to sweat them in. I don't believe any of the other brands have that plastic to keep anything from rubbing that you got to fool with. But besides that, that's pretty much the gist of installing an outdoor TXV.